Here today to talk about James Rodriguez again, and it's kind of crazy considering that 12 hours ago I made a video saying that right now it's only Dimarzo on a few independent people talking about James Rodriguez, and since then, not even a day later, 12 hours later, and we have multiple sources saying that James Rodriguez to Bayern looks to be a done deal, that is actually going to happen. Now, Teat said, they just came out a minute ago, and they said that Bayern want to conclude a transfer, that James wants to conclude a transfer by 4:30 today, 3:30, sorry, depending on where you live, obviously. Basically, that they want the transfer to be done from roughly 3 hours from now, because Real Madrid's training session starts, and he doesn't want to fly with the team. He actually wants to go to Munich right now, so that he doesn't have to fly with Real Madrid to their training, which is all just going so quick. It was, like I said, yesterday it was just only one or two people are saying it, and now it's like everyone is saying it, so it actually looks very credible. And the reason for that actually could be that Douglas Costa, like I said, he missed training again for today, which means that he's most likely already on the way. As I was saying yesterday, most likely by Wednesday it will all be concluded. That's what the Marty was saying. Now with James, it looks like we're trying to do a 2-year loan deal. There are mixed reports about the fee, but a 2-year loan deal, and then we could sign him. So essentially it gives us the option to evaluate him for 2 years and then see whether he's worth it or not, which I think is actually a pretty good deal. He's gonna be quite an interesting player, in all honesty, because I think that he isn't exactly what we need, but he would be a fine addition. I think, like I say, not exactly what we need, but better than nothing, and he would be a fine addition. And I think it would ultimately lead to like a 4-3-2-1 formation that we're ultimately gonna play. So we might not actually play with traditional wingers anytime soon. Which obviously leaves a question of Coman and whatnot, but it's gonna be quite next. It's gonna be quite interesting to see how this furthers on, how this develops. Now, in additional news, obviously with Goretzka, I'm gonna mention Goretzka as well, because yesterday in the news conference, Rummenigge, he was very hesitant to talk about Goretzka. Basically, when he was asked about Goretzka, he was essentially saying that, well, Goretzka, he only has 1 year left on his contract. He's going to have to decide for himself what he wants. He wasn't saying we're not interested in Goretzka. He didn't say we're not, looking at him. He just said Goretzka will have to decide for himself sooner or later what he wants to do, which to me just sounds like, yeah, I really want him. And according to Review Sport, which is pretty reliable when it comes to Schalke as well as Dortmund, they claim that Leon Goretzka has met Manuel Neuer and Tony Tapalovic, in Munich to get some tips about Bayern, and that a move is only a matter of time. I think it's going to probably happen next season. It's going to be very interesting times ahead, honestly. I think it all depends on Renato Sanchez right now. With Renato Sanchez going on loan for a year, I could potentially see us going for Goretzka next year or this year, as basically him being a replacement for Renato Sanchez, or next year if we actually decide to keep Renato Sanchez, then not. If we don't, then yes. It's all going to be, for me, it all really depends on how Renato Sanchez turns out in the next year after this year. So it's going to be quite interesting to see, obviously, if the James Rodriguez deal actually concludes very quickly, and if the Goretzka deal, or if the Goretzka option looks to be solidifying. So I'll see you guys in the next one, everyone. Peace out, everyone, and have a nice day. Bye.